Hello, all you YouTube chess lovers out there, and thank you for joining me again here on my Chess TV channel. We just recently discussed the Chekhover variation of the Sicilian, and I found a new game here I wanted to go over and have a look at. And I showed you guys the very basic sort of beginner way to approach the Chekhover in a very simplistic way, and it's a very good way, but I found here a very interesting, more advanced approach to playing the Chekhover. This game here is played by Zelshko Bogut against Murtas Kashgaliev. And sorry if I'm not getting that pronunciation right. I think they are both Croatian, if I'm not mistaken. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure. One for sure. I'm not sure about the other one. He might be Kazakh or something. But at any rate, what's interesting about this game, apart from the fact that it's a Chekhover, well, it's a variation in the Chekhover, is the fact that Zelshko is rated well under Murtas Kaskaliev. He's about almost 200 points lower, and yet he absolutely whipped up on him. Caused him to resign in 46 moves. So let's get at it and find out what all the fuss is about. So e4, c5, knight f3, d6. Definitely an alternate variation. You could go into a lot of stuff playing in d6. You could go into, well, several other Sicilians to be sure. Here he played a very aggressive and interesting bishop b5 check. Knight c6. Possibly a subtle inaccuracy, I'm not entirely sure. And in fact, well, no, maybe not. That's a good move. He could have gone with the bishop d7. So here, d4, pawn takes, and here is the very interesting twist on the earlier Chekhover that we looked at. The queen takes here only because the knight is pinned, and in the version I showed you guys in the last episode, that wasn't the case. The knight wasn't on c6, and there was no need to create this pin with the bishop on b5. So this is a very interesting approach. And now, bishop d7, bishop exchanges, knight develops to c3, h6, bishop e3, the very aggressive e5, queen drops back, and like we discussed, that's a very common, very common in the Chekhover to go back to either d3 or d2. Okay, knight f6. Again, long castles, very common in the Chekhover. Bishop e7, h3, rook c8, b1, very aggressive b5. Okay, knight comes over, b4, knight d5, knight exchanges, e exchanges on d5. Bishop tries to get away and become more useful. Rook c1, castles, g4, queen d7, knight e4, a5, rook hg1, bishop b5, queen d2, a4, g5, king h7, and I'm just going to tell you guys first off, there's already been several inaccuracies played on both sides. And king to h7 was a pretty bad move by Murtas there, even though he's rated roughly close to 2700. He just simply made a normal looking, natural looking move that just was not good in this position. And Bogut played h4. He played b3, takes, push, bishop g5. And this still should have been a draw, guys. Komodo here is even saying that the game is basically flat. Rook exchanges on c2. Queen f5. Maybe not the most accurate move. Not a bad move, just not necessarily the most accurate in the position. Knight c3. Rook exchanges. B takes c3. f6. Bishop b3. Bishop d3. Rook gc1. Queen e4. Still flat. And king a1. Bishop takes c2. Queen takes c2, excuse me. Queen takes h4, f4, e takes f4, queen takes a4, f5, bishop d4, and we're still flat. Actually, black is technically doing just fine here in this position. In this exact position, black is showing a negative 0.53 advantage. f3, queen d7. And here, this one move, this one tiny critical error, king takes h6, was god-awful, bad, terrible, nightmare levels. That was a literal blunder, what I call a positional blunder. And this is the reason. This is what ensues. f2. Rook comes over. I'm sure you guys can already see what's about to happen. Okay, maybe not. Queen e6. Queen finally takes the bishop. Bishop's now lost. King down. Rook's now lost. And you don't need to be an international master or a grandmaster to know that it's the end of the road for black there. And I'll just churn these moves out. Just good, solid in-game technique now. And actually in this position, Kashgaliev resigned because this was the result. Would have been mate in 49. Okay, so let's go back again through all of this. And by the way, the music, guys, it is in the public domain. It is an infinity track on YouTube, so do not come seeking me for rights infringements. It's in the public space. Don't even know who's playing this. Sounds good though. It's very relaxing. I hope you like jazz. And sounds of a fake crackling fireplace. And I don't know, somebody typing a story maybe in the next room. Okay, so we got to oops, instead of that, I didn't finesse this entire game. I didn't have time, I didn't want to, but if we just go from this critical error, black needed to play h takes g5, and then this is the rest of the game. Very aggressive f5 there, and here bishop trades off. Knight hops back to g5. Black plays a3. Knight e6. King takes. There I thought maybe just as interesting was something like, I don't know, rook c1 d1 maybe looked good, or rook c1 e1. Yeah, in fact, let's see. No, but strangely enough, it's giving those as totally drawing. If I had played, or if he had played rook c1 d1, it's giving totally flat now, losing a nearly full point advantage now. So I guess that's Looks can be deceiving, so I'll just go ahead and I'm not going to annotate too much now. I'll just let the game play out visually. You guys can be the judge. It's a very effective trade there, though. There goes black's last piece. And now the problem is simply trading off the queens, and white is hunky-dory. And again, this is with perfect black computer moves playing at a 3,200 ELO level. Beyond Magnus Carlsen even. And not by much, I might add, but... And black queen getting very annoying here. And white is having to find creative ways to get up there and skosh up to the 7th rank. Finally. Okay, it's vital to protect the pawn and the king. More annoying checks. Follow. And I think the problem is here, if you push the pawn, I don't think it's so hot, I'm not sure. I want to say there's a potential fear of giving the king a check and either winning the queen, or more than likely either winning the knight at some point. So I think this was absolutely the best in the position. And if it had been me, I probably would have gone king c6. I'm not sure how good that is. Yeah, that's still totally crushing. It's almost as good. King c6 here was very nearly as good. I think it takes about maybe 2 moves longer to mate. Now, this is a funny sequence here with all these ridiculous ring around the posy checks. Oh, that's just ridiculous. And finally, there she goes. And then you get that gorgeous mate there coming off the d6 to f5. Boom, checkmate. Let's see, going back. I'll get back to this position. Oops. Yeah, here, let's see, I think... I'm not sure how good this is. There, oh wow, that is sweet. Oh yeah, that is super sweet. In fact, I think this is superior to the earlier solution the computer gave me. Yep. Oh, that's nice. I shaved 3 off the computer mate. That's hilarious. I thought it looked so much more natural going king d8 here. Yeah, that's funny. And again, computers don't always understand subtleties, and even with mates, they still don't understand little tiny nuances. You'd be surprised how many times they get it slightly off. Now, in general, of course, they annihilate us, but I'm just saying it pays to check and recheck. Okay, guys, I just thought that this was a very interesting way to play the checkover. This very aggressive initial boom B5 idea, and you get this type of position. Again, that's the money move there. Queen takes D4. Of course, in this variation, the knight is pinned. Long castles. So on and so forth. And in actuality, from here, this was a mistake. H3 was a mistake. Knight H4 is much better here. Let's see, Knight H4. Then Knight F. No, let's see. King B1 it's a very standard idea in the checkover. We'll go with that. F3. Knight B5. Excuse me, Knight D5 rather. Oops, I think I made a mistake there. Excuse me. He takes the yes. Yeah, I think G3 here is really good. Maybe Queen D2 perhaps. Looks solid. Ooh. Not so sure how solid that was. Let's see. No, I take that back. I think Rook HE1 is better. Bishop F2, perhaps. And that's a fairly common idea, guys, in the checkover. You're going to see a lot of this Bishop F2. I know it looks a little weird, but it's doing it a couple of things. It's controlling the diagonal, the A7 F2, or it's pressurizing it at least, if not controlling it. It's shoring up G3, and it's also hitting H4 by extension. And so there's a lot of things that crafty bishop move can do. Ooh, that looks scary. Not sure how good it is, but God, that looks god-awful scary for black. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, was H4. That's funny. Yep, also sealing the deal. Coming back to D2, very common in a lot of Sicilians. Okay, I think we're going to stop here, guys. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Just coming up with some, I hope, what are some very decent lines here in this, what I call the advanced checkover. Or maybe I should call it the Bishop B5 checkover. I think that sounds better. So until next time, guys, keep checkovering. And I'll see you next time here on my YouTube chess channel. Take care.